I stopped experts at the biggest nutrition conference of the year to ask 3 questions you will actually want to hear the answers to.
I am Alissa Rumsey. I am a registered dietitian and the founder of Rumsey Nutrition Consulting, as well as the Liberated Clinician, where I work with other dietitians and clinicians in a business training and coaching capacity. And I'm also the author of the book Unapologetic Eating, Transform Your Relationship to Food and Change Your Life.
So I have 5 short questions. First question is, a lot of women in my community, which is Hashimoto's hypothyroidism, struggle with guilt around food because they've been dieting their whole life. What do you think one mind shift tool or trick they can use to start getting rid of that guilt around food?
Well, I always go back to first, let's think about, okay, how has that guilt, how has that been not so helpful? So when I talk to my clients, and they'll be like, they think that they need to have this like guilt or shame in order to eat healthier or meet their nutrition goals and things like that. But actually what they end up realizing is like, oh no, this guilt and shame that I feel keeps me stuck in this not helpful cycle where I can't actually make change because I am feeling so guilty and so much shame. So I always say like, okay, let's recognize, how has it not been so helpful? How has it not worked for you? And that can be really eye-opening to then start to think about, okay, what does it look like to eat and like just notice that guilt, right? And instead, usually what we do is we like have that thought, right? We have the thought about the food or the guilt, and then we just like keep following it. And so I would also say, when you're having that thought, just notice of like, oh, I'm having this thought that I shouldn't be eating this, or like, oh my gosh, I'm being so bad for like just naming like, oh, I'm having this thought. So it gives you a little bit of distance because it's just a thought, right? It doesn't make that true. And it gives you some space to start working with those thoughts, which is really what we're doing when we're trying to shift our relationship to food in our body.
Amazing. So stop, pause, think about, accept your thoughts, and then deviate, right? Create a plan and follow a different thought. You're still gonna follow what you want to, right? Your thought process, but maybe a different path.
Yeah. Like what's more helpful? Like, okay, this is not so helpful. What's a more helpful thought here? I actually have Hashimoto's, so.
I did not know that.
Yes, I know you didn't know that when you reached out to me, but I do. And yeah, so I think for me, it's like thinking about like, okay, like this guilty thought is not helpful, but like what is helpful is thinking about what's going to make me feel my best physically, mentally, and that can look different days. Sometimes, that looks like what we might picture more quote unquote healthy meals. Sometimes that looks like something that's not so quote unquote healthy. So it's like coming back to, yourself and your body and what is going to make you feel the best physically, mentally, emotionally, and expanding that view of what quote unquote healthy eating means.
What would you wish more people understood about the connection, the body connection, and the long-term health?
I wish more people realized that they didn't need to fight with their body, that it doesn't have to be this battle, that it is possible to trust your body, and that your body really does have so much wisdom. And a lot of people feel like, well, if I listen to my body wants, I'm going to go off the rails, or I'm going to do something that's not going to support my health. But in reality, once we've like unpacked a lot of the guilt and those like old messages and old thought patterns, our bodies like want to feel good, whatever that means for us. And so I wish that more people knew that it is possible to trust your body and to have that lead you to longer term health. And again, health, whatever that means for you, physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health.
And it does not take a 2-hour course online, right? It takes practice to develop trust with your body, and it's truly a relationship. It's like friendship. It takes sometimes years and decades to truly flourish. So I think this is you and your body are the best friends, so you better, I always say, like, and especially with somebody with Hashimoto's, I always say, don't fight your disease. Make friends with it. It is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So we might as well learn how to live with it and enjoy it. So we talk about, how a lot of things that people are doing wrong. Tell us, what do you think one habit that everyone should implement that will make the biggest change to their energy, hormonal balance, or maybe even thyroid health?
I would say eating enough and eating consistently during the day. I think certainly with Hashimoto's, I've struggled with this, but this is something I see with everybody, like even if they don't have thyroid problems. People end up just like, for whatever reason, not eating enough, going many, many hours between eating, and that can have a huge effect on our energy. And I think our culture has really skewed like what enough is. And so many people I work with, they think they're overeating. And I'm like, no, actually, you need to eat more, especially like the first half of the day. And it can have such a huge impact on all those things that you're mentioning, energy, digestion, hormones. So eating enough and eating consistently throughout the day.
And that kind of leads me to my next question. What do you think people get wrong when eating healthy?
Well, I think that's definitely one piece of it, is they think that eating healthy means like restriction and like taking things away, taking away the things they love, taking away things that have good taste, taking away calories, like eating less. And no, that is not the case. Like, we actually absorb more nutrients when we're enjoying the food that we're eating. So, I'm really big on like, okay, how can we incorporate and like eat all the foods that you love and do so in a way that supports your health?
Absolutely, 100% agree. Now, what do you think, name one idea or trend that you think will shape the field of dietetics, or maybe you're a business coach as well as registered dietitian and an author. What do you think there's an idea or trend that will shape the future of our medical field?
Oh man, there are so many. The thing that's top of mind for me right now is AI and like generative artificial intelligence. And I think there's so much, right? Because I think people are using it to find like meal ideas and meal plans and like personalized stuff, which is great. And I think for dietitians, we need to know how they work because people are using them. And I think a lot of people have the fear of like, oh, it's going to replace us. I do not think so. I think yes, like if you are a dietitian who is like really just like straight educating about food, yes, it might. Because like the AI chatbots like do really well with that sort of thing. So I think we need to, as clinicians, go to like, what is it that really helps our patients? Like, yes, our knowledge, but it's also the relationship and our connection and like our humanity. And there's a lot of research actually with therapists around this, that no matter what therapeutic modality a therapist is practicing, the thing that best predicts someone improving is the quality of the relationship between the therapist and the client. And we're starting to see some research around dietitians like that. And so I really believe like, okay, how are we going deeper? How are we holding space? How are we doing, more than just the education that they might be able to get elsewhere? And how are we, like deepening our counseling skills and our ability to do that? So I think that is going to change so much in our lives in the next couple of years, but certainly as dietitians and in the nutrition space.
I just attended the whole session. They were talking about AI and using it in practice because everyone uses it. Yeah. Everyone uses it. But I love the quote the nutrition director in California University said. She said, if you're using AI, make sure you have enough knowledge to evaluate the output.
Yes.
Because it screens the AI, screens the internet, it spits out everything, inaccurate and sometimes even dangerous information. So I would say don't take AI chat box output to heart.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
have to have some kind of knowledge. So I think that's where our education comes in. We do have a very good research-based knowledge, and we always double checking. Sure, summarizing a note, no problem, but don't Google why your symptoms, what they mean and what to do. And
exactly, I 100% agree. And like, how can we help consumers like use it in a way that's helpful and make sure that they're like knowing what is misinformation and what's not so helpful. And so I do think it's really important that we are in there like figuring it out and knowing what's going on so that we can use that to help our clients.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
It's been wonderful. You gave a lot of good tips and tricks within 2 minutes. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It was great to be here. Thank you for having me.